everyone. Welcome to the GardenStateHSWrestling.com postseason primer, Districts 5 through 8. I'm Donald J. Brower. Joining me on the call here tonight is James Clarke. James, thank you for joining me.
Of course, always a pleasure. Can't wait to decipher up these districts.
We're going to talk a little bit about the upcoming districts. This is the second video we're going to be doing. We have one for Districts 1 through 4. We're going to be doing one for another set of districts from 9 through 12. And then we're going to have miscellaneous because obviously the state thought it was a great idea to throw teams in random districts. So a lot of postseason stuff going on. It's flown by so far, but we got to thank the people who got us here, our sponsors, Dan Warnikoff, Champion Athletes. I've said it before, I'll say it again. Your body is like your car. You train it, you make it look nice, you need the fuel. Dan will help you do that. You're an athlete, you're not an athlete. In-state, out-of-state, Champion Athletes will help you fuel your dreams. Apex Wrestling School, 4 locations in New Jersey, 1 in Manhattan, founded by Damian Logan in 2002 with his college roommate Dane Tabano, one of the fastest growing wrestling schools, Apex Wrestling. And Harrington Companies. If you have a house, you want to make it nice, you want to rip it down, you want to do some recycling, they do it all. So give them a call, Harrington Companies, big proponents of what we do here. Now, we're going to go to District 5. It is at Fairlawn, which, full disclosure, we may be adding them to our coverage area next year, but I don't want to jump onto that yet. I have some people who are asking me there. But these teams will be at Fairlawn for District 5. Clifton, Elmwood Park, Fairlawn, obviously. I don't think they'd go to a different district. The state's not that crazy. Garfield, Hasbrook Heights, Lodi, Paramus, Passaic, Saddlebrook, and St. Joe's Montvale. Now, as much as I love some of the other teams in here, I think St. Joe's Montvale runs away with this. This is a team that's number 2 in the state, went toe-to-toe with Del Barton. This is one of those districts you look at, like Bergen Catholic a couple of years ago and Del Barton, as we said, where they're looking at like 12, 13 champions on what they're doing.
Yeah, no, this will be the St. Joe Montvale show with maybe a couple exceptions here and there, but definitely there will be some teams that will compete. I think I liked the way that Clifton has wrestled this year. Unfortunately they lost to Phillipsburg in the Group 5 semifinals, but they've had a lot of good individuals that I think potentially could meet up with some of the good wrestlers of St. Joe Montvale.
Yeah, this is how I have it looking for my predictions. 106, Charlie Esposito, St. Joe Montvale. It's basically going to be a lot of St. Joe Montvale, so I don't know if I got to tell you St. Joe Montvale each time, but his teammate, Jonathan McGinty at 113, Mikey Bautista at 120. Now, this is one that I debated back and forth, and I've really liked how he wrestled. I think that Najati Salim is going to take it here at 126 for Clifton. I know that might not be the popular opinion. I just liked how he's wrestled, and he's one of those guys who is nonstop. I think he makes the final. I'm predicting him to win, but I wouldn't be shocked if he still made the final. So I have him there. Adrian DeJesus, St. Joe's Montvale. Donnie Almeida, St. Joe's Montvale. James Sloan, St. Joe's Montvale. Zach Belanti, St. Joe's Montvale. Frank DeBella, St. Joe's Montvale. Joseph Galetta, Clifton. The way he's wrestled this year, we were there at the Big North Duels, and he lost to James Conklin at PCTI. And he doesn't take losing well. And when I tell you he's been wrestling with a fire and he's been pissed off is the nicest way to put it. He felt he was embarrassed in that match. And he's been wrestling like he wants it. And I think he ekes it out here. 175, I got Ryan Burton, the Pork Chop Express. If you know what I'm talking about, you know who the Pork Chop Express is. Big Trouble in Little China. Old reference. It's before your time, James. But I'm calling it right now. I think Burton wins the whole thing. I think I would be shocked if Burton wasn't the state champion at this weight. But I really like what he's done. And, call me what you want. Nostradamus, pat myself on the back. I told his parents that as a freshman, I said, that kid's going to win a state title. And I don't know what switch they hit, but his year last year to this year, it's almost like it's a completely different wrestler. And he's been looking great. And then his teammate, Caleb Jackson, I think he takes it. Now, was hard for me at 215 because Obviously, I understand Aiden Shlet's the best wrestler at that weight, and that's who I'm picking to win it. But I don't have confidence because he's injured, and I don't think he's fully healed. He's walking around with a limp. So one bad move or shot could basically end his season. I'm going with him right now, but I'm going to throw a little asterisk there just because I don't know how the injury is going to play out, if it's something he can get through totally. And Rocco Delgado, I think, takes it at heavyweight. Had a really close match with Connor Martin in the group championships. And I think he was a little annoyed with how he wrestled. So I think he might steamroll that weight down there, running in the regions. But what do you think, James?
I like all of your predictions. I think they're all pretty solid. As we've said, St. Joe's Montville, they're going to have many district champions. I like Salim from Clifton a lot. I like the way that he's wrestled this year. I think he definitely can give Pano from St. Joe's Montville a run for his money. There's definitely a good chance that he could pull off an upset that could go down to like a coin flip, could go down to an overtime period. That's just how good that matchup is really going to be between the two.
Yeah, I think that'll be super solid. I think, but this is one of those tournaments, some good wrestlers. You got a St. Joe Montville. It's like, oh, great. Now, let's switch to District 6. I'll be on the call there, calling the finals as we're there. The teams there are going to be Dover, Lenape Valley, Morris Knolls, Mountain Lakes, Parsippany, Par Hills, excuse me, Phillipsburg, Randolph, and Roxbury. Now, I like Phillipsburg here. I think they got some really good hammers, but they also have enough young guys I think could sneak in and help them pull the win off here. I think you'll get some champions from Par Hills and some other teams. What do you think about Phillipsburg and any other teams that you could see?
We've covered Phillipsburg a lot. I would not be shocked if all 14 wrestlers qualified for regions. That's how deep this Phillipsburg team is. But obviously, you're going to have some really quality wrestlers that are going to definitely compete. I like James McGinty a lot. I think he also showcased of how well he's going to do this year. Down at regions, possibly Atlantic City, maybe could even place two if he can squeak by some of the tough guys. He definitely could make it down there. But I like Par Hills a lot. They've come a long way. I think they can definitely make some noise too. But Phillipsburg, with all the bunch of the Morris and Sussex area teams, Phillipsburg is going to win the team title though.
Like this district. Most of it we did last year when there was District 7 and there was a couple moved in and out. I'm sad that Morris Hill's in here because you like that Knowles Hills rivalry and what it came to last year. So it's like, hey, we're switching this team out. Here's Phillipsburg. Thanks, but no thanks. So I'm sure they're thrilled with that. But so who I predicted to win, I got Jaden Mendez from Dover, 106. I think he's going to be solid there. Made the MCT finals. I felt bad for him, too, because they went to the 1-3-5 final, and I think he deserved a chance to be under the lights. I think he'll get it here. James McGinty, as we talked about, 113. I think he takes it. Owen Garrix from Phillipsburg. I like him to take it at 120. Dawson McWilliams from Phillipsburg. I think he'll do really well at 126. Gavin Galetta at 132. So you got three Phillipsburg guys I'm looking at there. Mario Fernini from Par Hills. He's been out a little bit this year, but he's been coming back. He's been wrestling well. I think he takes it 138. Luke Galetta at 144. I think he'll take it there. Gavin Hawk. I like him at 150. As we've said before, I think he's a guy to keep an eye on to get down there and get on the podium in Atlantic City. Jake Donnelly from Roxbury, I think, gives the home crowd a champion there at 157. Jonathan Roth from Phillipsburg at 165, and Liam Packer at 175. I think give P-Berg two champions there. Ronaldo Diagicapo from Mountain Lakes. A little bit of an upset, but I like him. I think he's been wrestling really well. William Knapp from Roxbury at 215. And if I was picking anybody but Wargo at heavyweight, I'd hit myself in the head with a chair. I mean, that guy's going to finish. Right now, you tell me who you think the four are. I think it's got to be Delgado, who we talked about, Wargo. There's always somebody down south that comes out of nowhere as a heavyweight. who are any better heavyweights? I mean, those are guys who you look at and you're just like, all right, they're going to steamroll the heavyweight division wherever they're at, and they're just on a collision course in states. But what do you think about my picks there?
I definitely like your picks. I think 106 may be one of the deepest weight classes in this district. You take a look at
It's so tough.
three guys. You have Jaden Mendez from Dover, who made the MCT finals, like you said. We have Logan Forgach from Par Hills, another solid wrestler in his own right, too. And then you have Anthony Pettinelli from Phillipsburg, too, who's also, another really solid wrestler. Really great guys. They're all close within age with one another, besides Mendez being a junior. But we're going to see some really good semifinals matches with Pettinelli, Forgach, and that's going to be, whoever wins that one and beats Mendez. It's going to be a lot of fun.
That's going to be a good one. I'm going to keep my eye on it. I'm going to get there a little early because I want to watch that 106 and kind of see there. Now, District 7 is going to be at Pagoda. You got Pagoda, Boonton, Cedar Grove, Patterson Eastside, Patterson Kennedy, Montville, Morris Hills, Mount Olive, Wayne Valley. Now, I think this is Mount Olive's to take. I like a couple of the other teams there. Like, I like a Wayne Valley. I think they're solid. I just think that Mount Olive is a little bit better than Wayne Valley at certain weights, where Wayne Valley has good wrestlers. Mount Olive has great ones, but I like Mount Olive to win the team title here.
I agree 100%. Mount Olive all the way, for sure.
So for champions, I got at 106, I got Tommy Sika from Cedar Grove. 113, I got Tyler Hagginson from Mount Olive. You want to talk about a kid on a mission. I think that kid gets on the podium. He was on it 2 years ago. A little injured last year, just got his 100th. And for somebody to be a COVID year kid and get your 100th, that's huge. So that shows just how good he wrestled when he was on the mat. And he was even injured a little bit his freshman year, so he didn't get that much. So pretty much his sophomore, senior, and a little bit of his junior year, how he got his 100. So, I mean, he's on a roll going to Buffalo to wrestle in the fall. I think he'll, do really well and run away with here. His teammate, Anthony Piamonte from Mount Olive, I think he'll do really well. 126, Jaden Barreto from Morris Hills. 132, Justin Bullock from Mount Olive. Noah Zendaki from Wayne Hills, I think, takes it at 138. His teammate, Rafat Al-Kadali, is going to take it at 144. Tanner Perez, I think, is going to take a good weight at 150 from Mount Olive. Roger Barazueta from Morris Hills should win it at 157. Nick Barone is my favorite at 165 from Wayne Valley. And then you got three Mount Olive guys in a row I think are going to win it. You got Nico Gonzalez at 175, Tyler Bienes at 190, Tyler Cumming at 215. And then at 285, Luca Bilio from Montville. I think he's going to do really well and take that weight there. But what do you think of those picks?
Absolutely agree with many of them. 126 is definitely going to be a battle because if we remember from earlier in the year, Brandon Barris of Mount Olive upset Jaden Beretta in the dual meet. So that's why you're going to see Barris be number 1 and Barreto be number 2. But that'll be a good rematch. We know Jaden is definitely going to want to get that rematch and avenge his loss from early in the season. I know that was back in December. That was a long time ago. But I think Brandon has really come on this year as really stepping up. 24 wins right before districts, number 1 seed. He's got a lot going for him. And if Barreto wants to be able to win, it's all going to start here this weekend.
See, I think that's what it was because I think they're going to meet in the final. Reason I went with Barreto is when you get an upset like that, it's happened before, and I've seen it in other weights for years. When somebody gets upset like that and they know they're going to meet them later on, they not only train for their season, they train to counter what that guy does. So I think Barreto not only has been wrestling for how he wants to wrestle, he's been working on stuff to know that he thinks he messed up on. And I think it's going to be a different match. I may be wrong, but I think Barreto's going to come out there. It's going to be a very close match. I'm not talking where he's going to blow him out here, but very close match.
100%. Absolutely.
Now, our final district in Region 2, District 8 at Passaic Valley. You got Bergenfield, Dwight Morrow, Fort Lee, Hackensack, Leonia, PCTI, Passaic Valley, St. Thomas Aquinas, Teaneck, and Tenafly. Looking at this was a tough one because PCTI's got some really good wrestlers. St. Thomas Aquinas has got some really good wrestlers. a few teams. I went with Passaic Valley. They got some really good hammers up top. I think they're going to sweep a couple weights up top, and they got some young guys I think can advance. So I'm looking at Passaic Valley with PCTI a close second.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with you on that one. I like the way that Passaic Valley has wrestled this year. I think they've been wrestling sharp. They've come in this year and they've really showcased of why teams need to fear for them, especially when we see some of their really quality wrestlers going into the postseason. But PCTI obviously is going to be right in there too. They got some really quality wrestlers. James Conklin's going to be there, and and company. It'll be very tough for sure. But Passaic Valley edges it out.
Yeah, this is one of those that I think it's like I said, it's gonna be super close with just who wins and how it goes. But as far as who I picked, 106, I got Muhammad Abu Daba from PCTI, Benamino Di Coca from St. Thomas Aquinas, Brandon Rosario from Passaic Valley, Siege Hibbler from Leonia, Peter Binikos at Tenafly at 132, Tyler Wardeby from PCTI at 138, Liam Zeh from St. Thomas Aquinas at 144, James Conklin, who you mentioned from PCTI at 150, Omar Tarecki, his teammate at 157 for PCTI. And this is what I was talking about with Passaic Valley. I look for Passaic Valley here to win at 165 with William Capizzi, Dante Benvenuto at 175, Frankie Martino at 190, and Brandon Venziano at 215. And then at heavyweight, Joshua Moore from TNEC.
I liked all those picks. I really do. I really like Martino a lot. And I think he's going to be pretty high on the podium. Like, I really do think he's going to place at least in the top 8, maybe even higher. If he walks away with that.
His senior year, he hit a switch. He's wanted to wrestle some of these guys, and he's out there. He's on a mission. I would put nothing against him. I think he has a chance to be OW at this district.
Oh, absolutely. I think the way that the cookie crumbles, definitely. And especially if he wins his finals match, for sure.
The only thing I would throw in there is if somebody gets if you get a 4th seed who maybe upset some people, you never can tell, but I think he'd be in there for that. But listen, thank you for joining us for our District 5 through 8 primer. We have our District 1 through 4 up as well. You can check out our other primers as well. We're going to be doing one on District 9 through 12, and we're also going to be doing one on some of the other districts for our coverage area. You can follow us on social media, on Facebook at GardenStateHSWrestling.com, on Twitter or X at GardenStateHSW, on Instagram, GardenStateHS Wrestling, and like and subscribe on YouTube. You can follow us for all our upcoming wrestling needs, as well as podcasts, our region coverage, and everything I'm going to be doing down at States. Enjoy the coverage of our districts this week. We will have Shane Dunn at District 1 at Jefferson. I'll be on the call at Roxbury, and James Clarke will be on the call at Morristown. For James Clarke, I'm Donald J. Brower. We'll see you next time.